Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and tanny pants. Let's from the kickoff to the final whistle blow. We'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy! We're here to make some noise.
Ahoy, everyone! Welcome along to the final game of the round. Can you believe it's actually come around? Feels like it's been a very long weekend, but that's probably just because of how busy I've been. But anyways, it is the final game of the round. It's the Rabbitohs taking on the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs, ravaged by state of origin, but still a very solid team on a Tracy at the back. But all eyes will be on Lockie Galvin. Lockie Galvin for the first time starting in a Bulldogs jersey. We saw him come off the bench, and essentially he was a big contributor to the Bulldogs winning that game the other week against the Eels. So look for him to go well there with Toby Sexton in combination. Matt Burton, of course, is the 18th man for the Blues, so no Burton tonight. No Stephen Crichton, that's a big out. Jacob Kiraz moves into the centres to replace Stephen Crichton. And that's actually why I've got Kiraz in the same game. Kiraz would have been in the same game multi anyway, but he would have been in the same game multi from the wing. A pretty simple shift, really, for the doggies. Blake Wilson comes on. Kiraz shifts, but still, we know how inspirational a leader Stephen Crichton is, and that is a big out for the team. And yes, Burko, you know what I always say? Every single time the Rabbitohs are playing, never underestimate a Wayne Bennett-coached team. And I'm sure that the Bunnies will have some surprises. Billy Army Kickout captains the side today in the absence of Stephen Crichton. But Jacob Preston returns. So Jacob Preston goes straight into my four-legger. Same game multi. Jacob Preston back in the team. Preston goes straight back in. For the Bunnies, I mean, they've been a little bit harder to predict with try scorers this year, haven't they? A little bit unpredictable. Sometimes they go up the middle, sometimes they go out wide. When they do go out wide, you can guarantee it'll be to Alex Johnston's left edge. So guaranteed to be a thing that happens. Welcome along, everybody, though. Should be a good game. Turbocharged reckons Dogs 50, Bunnies 8. How is that for a bold old prediction there? But the Rabbitohs, they're capable of that sort of performance, aren't they? Zoran says 36-14. JC Smoke, who's breaking it to the Bulldogs bandwagon that they ain't getting near 50. We're underway, though. Humphreys with the kickoff. And we'll see. Will anybody get close to 50? Switch over to the game screen. And it is the Bulldogs, the home side. Well, they're not the home side, are they? Souths are. And they get first use of the ball. Zoran says Doggies will win 36-14, but Souths with an early lead of 8 points to 0. You know what? I can absolutely see that happening as Sexton gets the kick downfield. And Jai Gray, little Mighty Mouse, brings it back. Humphreys slots into dummy half, and there's Jack Whiten. I think the Rabbitohs really need a big performance from Jack Whiten. Wonder if he's kicking himself, leaving the Raiders to chase a premiership. And into Bulldogs territory they go. Harvili, short ball for Hubner. They're 40 metres out here, the Bunnies. Good set of 6. Nice kick return. And Humphreys from 40 out in midfield puts this one high. And it's taken at the back. Blake Wilson. One of the Bulldogs players was bumped over, but it had no impact on the play whatsoever. So both teams completing their first set. That's always a crucial part of the game. Getting through that opening set, getting your hands on the ball. Pokemaster says Bulldogs by 8 or more. Kiraz, Montoya, and Johnston to score. I like that 3-legger. Nick Clark says Whiten and Jai Arrow. We all know Kalamatangi will do his job, and it is the Bulldogs attacking left. Sherry can't get through the one-on-one tackle of Tass. 5th and last, Galvin puts the kick up. It's a nice one, contestable ball, but Jai Gray scoots away. What a find he's been, huh? Jai Gray. Tyrone Munro doing a hard carry. The Rabbitohs head back towards halfway. Yes, final game of the round, and I tell you what, I'm kind of glad because we need to get ourselves ready for Wednesday night, right? State of Origin number 2. Wasted World of Sports will be covering all the action as the Blues look to keep their record in Perth intact. Humphreys puts this kick downfield, backing up is Connor Tracy. And Tracy used to be a Shark, you know. Some genius. I always talk about the geniuses at the Sharks' retention and recruitment. And there's one that they let go. Over there on Twitch, Rocky11333 says, let's go the Maltese. I like that attitude. Who cares who wins? Who cares who loses? As long as our Maltese get up. At the end of the day, that's all we care about. Welcome along over there, Rocky. As the Bulldogs through Hayward take it up to halfway. 5th and last. Sexton for the kick. Sends it high into the corner. Jai Gray tracking across and almost got away from him, and he slips. And that's an easy tackle for the Bulldogs chasers. The Rabbitohs start the set 15 out from their own line. A nice Sunday afternoon drink. Plenty more still to come on the Wasted Water Sports course, though, before Wednesday. If I'm up and about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, oh gosh, that's awkward just even thinking about it. 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, the Canadian Grand Prix Formula One action continues. That's a nice kick from Humphreys, looking for a 40-20. It's batted back in field. Connor Tracy comes away with it. He might have been just outside the 40, but taking no chances back there. Blake Wilson. Humphreys' kick. Yes, it looks like he did just step outside the 40. But take no chances. Pop that ball back in field as Sexton runs with two hands on the ball. Marnie onto Kiraz. It's weird seeing Kiraz in that number 4. And up over halfway. Changing direction. Lockie Galvin. Taking the line on. 5th and last. Sexton to kick. From 40 out. Puts it high. And that's an easy take at the back there for AJ. But Johnston's picked up and driven backwards. Good kick chase by the Bulldogs. Gray steps off the right foot into the line. JC Smokes going to the Super Rugby Grand Final in Christchurch. Very cool. Oh, that should be a cracking game. I can't wait. Next weekend, Crusaders Chiefs Super Rugby Grand Final. Havili now, short ball. Jai Arrows taken down, 40 out from their own line. Humphreys goes for Wilson's corner again, but picks out Connor Tracy. Tracy heads back infield. The ref is indeed letting this go. There's not been a stoppage yet, I don't believe. This has pretty much been kickoff, and both teams trading sets, completing at 100%. Who's going to come up with the first mistake? Just short of halfway, here's Saluka for feeder. Wilson for first try, says Kaylane William. That's not a bad shout. Galvin to kick out. Will kick out, get on the try scoring sheet today with the C next to his name. Galvin heads back infield, and there's our boy Preston. Welcome back, Jacob Preston. Down the short side. Sexton shows it, goes inside. And Kiraz gives it back to Sexton. Some beautiful interplay by the Bulldogs. And they get the first points of the game. 4 points to nil. Kick to come from right beside the post. Running it on the last. And the Rabbitohs defense couldn't respond. Kiraz, Sexton, some interplay there. And the Souths D had no answers. Humphreys had already turned his back. That's what suckered them in. The South Sydney defense started to turn and track back for the kick, even though the kick hadn't taken place yet. Great heads-up play by Toby Sexton. Can you believe that Sexton does not have a club for next season? He'll definitely have one soon enough. Sideways, thank you very much for the 2 roses over there on TikTok. Cheers, mates. Sexton should go to Perth, Nick Clark. Mal Meninga has probably already been on the phone. Sexton moves in, pops the conversion over, and the Bulldogs lead 6-0. A near perfect start to this game for both teams. But it is the Bulldogs who strike first. Get themselves on top early. But yes, Perth would be a very good shout. They're going to need a halfback. Sexton has shown that he can control the flow of the game. He's been doing very well filling in for the Bulldogs. A lot of people actually can't believe that Sexton's contract is not being renewed at Canterbury. Back underway. Galvin has Saluka for feeder. 9 minutes gone. 6-0 Bulldogs. So I wonder who had Sexton in their same game multi. Now, immediately spreading it wide to the right. Kiraz, dummies. Doesn't give the ball out for Wilson, but very, very confident play there from the Bulldogs. Not afraid to spread it wide early in the tackle count from their own end. Come on, Montoya, says Sideways, as Marnie takes it up to halfway, gives the short ball for Hayward. 5th and last, just inside Rabbitohs territory. Sexton puts the kick up. It's contestable ball here. Kiraz gets hands on it and spills it forward. Gray playing under an advantage here, brings it back into the field. And they'll come back for the handover in a much better position. Kiraz won the battle in the air. He was up above Alex Johnston, but he just couldn't come down with it. JC Smoke, you need Preston Johnston, Kalamatangi. Havili to said Kalamatangi. And then on to Hubner. 40 meters out from their own line here. Kalamatangi at first receiver again, but it's shut down. The Bulldogs jamming in from out wide. That V-shaped defensive formation. Sideways. Thank you very much for the finger hearts over there as well on TikTok. A finger heart and 2 roses. As Connor Tracy slips as he takes this one and does extremely well to hold on. Alex Johnston, 2 tries, and we happy. I'd be happy with just 1, but if you yourself have got him for 2, then we'll cheer on that second one as well. But if you can get just 1, I'll be pleased. Marty goes down the short side for Kiraz. Tries to fend off Whiten. Whiten has some assistance there from Jai Arrow. Funnily enough, that's the 2 blokes that we say need a big game for the Rabbitohs. Galvin with the cutout pass for Sherry. Sherry's got Montoya in open space. 1-on-1 with Tyron Munro, who brings him down. But, boy, they don't want to be giving the wingers this much space. Munro would drop back for the early kick. 5th and last, and it goes up the middle. Easy take at the back. And Alex Johnston's got it for the Bunnies. For the Bulldogs, they're moving this ball around. Playing with a lot of confidence. And there's the first mistake of the game. An unforced error. The drop ball from the Bunnies, and here come the Dogs now 20 meters out. Hot on the attack, 0 tackle. Kick out, goes back down the short side. A loose pass out the back, but it's back in field now for Galvin. Galvin hunting around for an opportunity. Nothing there at the moment. Swamped by the Rabbitohs defense. Put on his back. Hayward at first receiver. To Saluka for feeder. Oh, he's a big boy. 15 from the line, just to the right of the post. Marnie sends it left for Hayward. They stay left. Sexton drops it off on the inside for kick out. Back infield they go. Tracy with the show and go. 10 meters out now. Hayward, inside ball for Curran. A meter short. Sexton now on the left. Galvin, cut out pass for Sherry. Sherry's got Montoya, and Montoya ducks under the tackle. Marcelo Montoya extends the lead here for the Bulldogs. And that left edge, it's smoking. The Rabbitohs have paid the ultimate price for that mistake. And I tell you what, we scoffed. We honestly had a little bit of a chuckle about it. But the way that this game's going, we might not be laughing so hard at the prospect of Bulldogs getting near 50 points. The Rabbitohs really, really need to tighten things up here. Richard Trainer, ahoy mate. You got 1 but not convinced about the rest. Gathering that Montoya was that one. Just hazarding a guess. The trouble with the Bulldogs, this is the problem I have anyway, when doing a same game multi with the Bulldogs. The way that they play the game, there's just so many options. Now, you know, a team like the Rabbitohs, for example, you know that they're very largely a left edge attack, especially when Cody Walker's there. When Cody Walker is steering the ship, loves attacking on the left with Latrell Mitchell looping around the back of the play on the left. Alex Johnston finishing off on the left. So you know that you could pick anybody on that left edge of the field, and you're in with a very good chance. As Sexton converts from out wide, tell me why this man does not have a contract. Toby Sexton, we'll have him at the Sharks. Come to the Sharks, Toby. We need a halfback. Yeah, so you know that a team like the Rabbitohs is going to score on the left. The Bulldogs, though, they'll score left, they'll score right, they'll score up the middle. It makes it very hard to pick and narrow down individuals from week to week. "2K Mans says you've got Hines, man. He's goated. But he... don't get me started. Notice this, says, who is the halves pairing when Burton comes back? Burton and Galvin will be the future. Whether or not they run with that straight away, but yeah. Why wait? Why wait? This is probably Galvin's litmus test. If he plays well today, he's probably earned that spot. Through the hands now to the right. Tracy to Kiraz. Gets it to Wilson in open space. Wilson back in field for Tracy. Connor Tracy scores. Wow. 50 might not even be enough. 50 points might not even be enough at this point. $16 points to nil. The kick to come, and the Bulldogs are scoring faster than they're even able to keep the scoreboard updated at the moment. There we go. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Left edge, right edge, up the middle. It doesn't matter. The Bulldogs, they'll attack from anywhere. As this try is confirmed. Creating space for their outside backs at will at the moment on the left and right edge of the field. Far too easy. Looks like a points to nil game. Certainly does, Zen. Certainly does. Should be a simple conversion too. Connor Tracy ran it around under the posts. Such depth in the Bulldogs squad at the moment. I mean, your captain's gone for the week. Stephen Crichton, the best centre in the game. They just say, Jacob Kiraz, move over, mate, and take control. As Sexton nearly shanks it from right in front. Perry nearly shanks it. But it goes over, just stays inside that near upright. And 18 points to nil. 3 unconverted tries. What a start it's been for the Bulldogs. Well, it was a good start from both teams, but then the Rabbitohs seem to have this issue at the moment where if something goes against them early try, or like we saw since that mistake from Tyrone Munro, they've just completely fallen apart. There's Saluka Fafita now from the kickoff. Brings it down just inside his own 20 over on that far touch. Montoya, one of the try scorers. So who have we got actually? We've got Sexton, Montoya, and now Tracy. Hayward at first receiver. They're going to shift it to the right on tackle 2 from inside their own 20. Kiraz puts the Fed on, but Jack Whiten holds on, brings him down. But they're up to the 40. Blake Wilson now from dummy half. Tackle 4 on halfway. The Bulldogs, they're just so full of running here. Josh Curran, straight up the middle. 5th and last, 40 out. Sexton's kick is charged down by Kalaumatangi, and it's going to sit up for Kiraz. 6 more tackles. Kiraz chips and chases. And he loses the ball. Well, did he know that they had 6 again? Kiraz has talked them into a captain's challenge here. So we'll see. The knee crumbler, ahoy, mate. Warriors got the bye. 1,200 to 0. I love it. How are you there, mate? All right, so Sexton's kick was charged down. Kiraz collects it. Lots of patience shown here by Kiraz. Waits to pick this ball up. Gets away from Humphreys. Now, is Kiraz aware that there's 6 again being called? Because he had his back to the play. He's chipped and chased for himself. The ball bounces up for him. And he holds on to it. He holds on to it. Successful challenge incoming. Wolfie, ahoy, mate. I reckon this will be a successful challenge. His hand is always on the ball. Successful challenge. Jacob Kiraz. Well, it was a bold call. He was obviously very convinced. How do you figure that, UFC? Since you're 2 points behind me at the moment, and presumably common sense would dictate everybody went for the Bulldogs in this one. Hayward onto Tracy. Kiraz tries to bat the ball on. They just get 6 again. Back for the penalty. Wait, you tipped the Titans? No, I don't believe you. I don't believe that even Titans fans tip the Titans. Taluka Fafita, 5 meters out. Marnie sends it back to the right. Hayward to Sexton. Drops it inside for Preston. 10 out from the line. Hayward to Curran. Heads across field. Now he straightens. Holds off Havili. Told to go back and play it. Back you go. Hayward to Sexton out the back for Galvin. Sherry. They're up quickly on him. Tackle 4. 15 out here. Hayward at first receiver again. Playing that Isaiah Yo roll. 10 meters out. 5th and last. Galvin grubbers him behind the line for Sherry. But it sets up for the Rabbitohs. And Isaiah Tass is tackled in goal. Goal line dropout incoming. Oh, this is just relentless. Relentless attack from the Bulldogs. And they've forced the goal line restarts. Humphreys puts it short. And it's batted into touch. And it's off the Bulldogs, I do believe. Off the Dogs. So a result here for the Rabbitohs. And finally, they can get their hands on the ball. What can they do with it, though? We'll find out what they can do with it. There's Jai Arrow. Runs about 30 meters. The problem was it was all across field and now backwards. Jai Arrow does love a good dart across the field, though, doesn't he? Yes, ahoy, Wayne Stretch. How are you, mate? South Sydney up to the 40. Kalamatangi. Short ball there for Humphreys, who's driven back. This is huge defense from the Bulldogs now. And Whiten forced into the kick. Sends it downfield for Tracy on the full, catches it on the 10. Gives it over to Montoya. Montoya can't get away from Tass. As the rain starts to come down. Okay, well, crucial 18-point lead. If the weather takes a turn for the worse, which it looks like it's doing, that 18-point lead is going to be valuable. It'll be very hard for the Rabbitohs to come back. Bobby, ahoy, mate. Let's go, doggies. Tackle 4 on halfway. Haywood out the back to Galvin. Now Tracy. Sherry has got Montoya in space on the outside again. Montoya's got Tracy in field, but he goes on his own. Tries to run over the top of Jai Gray, and little Mighty Mouse puts his body on the line. Brings Montoya down half a metre out. It's still on for the Dogs, though. 5th and last, Galvin with the crossfield kick for Kiraz. Kiraz loses it forward. Blake Wilson dives on it, but it's been knocked on by Kiraz. The Bulldogs are just all over the Bunnies at the moment. Penalty, though, to South Sydney. Offside. A much-needed penalty. The less we say about Manly, the better, is what I think. And there needs to be an investigation into the Titans, because they've got a hell of a team on paper. I know that UFC will disagree with me on this one because I'm talking about his favorite team in the world. But on paper, the Titans actually have a better team than the Raiders. But the Raiders have been able to put it together. The Titans have not. There needs to be an investigation into what the hell is happening on the Gold Coast. They've got the players. They've got a quality coach. Yeah, Raiders have got Ricky Stewart, though. Ricky Stewart's an amazing man motivator. Big defense here from the Bulldogs. 5th and last, Rabbitohs. They've only gone 17 metres off that set. Kick is charged down by Marnie. It'll be 6 more for the Rabbitohs. Guy Gray brought down by Preston in midfield. I don't understand the charge down. I would be coaching my players to not even bother. Let him get the kick away and give us the ball back. Cut out pass almost creates space from Tass. Guy Arrow onto Humphreys. Out the back now. Gray steps in field. Beats 1. Beats 2. Still going Gray. Throws it over the top for Johnston, but it's in behind him and into touch. Alex Johnston would have been in the corner. Jai Gray almost creates something out of nothing. Holden is greater than Ford. Says, how's Preston going? I mean, he's been solid, Preston, but I think it's pretty easy to see that he's had some time off. It's pretty easy to tell that this is his first week back. He's not having much impact at the moment, but he's been solid. He's been doing what he's supposed to do and nothing more at the moment. Look for him to get into the game as he eases back into things. Down the short side, Sexton finds half a gap. Humphreys, his opposite number, there to close that up. Galvin, they're going to run it here on the 5th and last. Kiraz gets the ball free for Wilson. Somebody's got to kick it here. It's back for Haywood. He shapes the kick, but it goes to Galvin. Big numbers to the left here now for the Bulldogs. Galvin chips it in over the top. Picks out Tyrone Munro. Probably would have liked that play over again. You don't understand sarcasm. Have Kiraz, Munro, and Sherry. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Kiraz is a little bit of an unknown this week since he's playing in the centres. Will he have the same impact as the cutout pass has space now for Munro? But he's taken down just over halfway. Sullivan. First time I remember saying his name tonight. Short side. Sullivan puts the kick up. Contestable ball lost forward by Munro. Sherry comes away with it for the Bulldogs. Oh, same here. You don't understand sarcasm. Same here. I put Kiraz in because I just always put Kiraz in. I didn't do my due diligence and find out that he's actually playing in the centres this week. But he is playing in Stephen Crichton's position. Stephen Crichton scores tries. Kiraz could score tries too in that same spot. That's my theory anyway. Through the hands, left they go. Sherry puts the fend on, takes it up to halfway. Tackle 4 as the rain is starting to get quite heavy now. Galvin shuffles it on for Curran, and they're back into Rabbitohs territory, 5th and last. Sexton sends it downfield, not contestable. An easy take for Alex Johnston, but look at this chase, a wall of blue. And they hold Johnston up and drive him back 5 metres. Preston leading the chase. And the Rabbitohs go about bringing it out of their own end. Bronson Sherry, of course, another former Shark. He was with the Sharks when he was done for the steroid juice. Manuel Snow, if you guys were CEO in a crap team, would you sack the coach? It depends if I thought it was the coach's problem. As the Rabbitohs put the kick downfield and Tracy charges onto it, brings it back to the 40, goes through the gap. Tracy taken down on halfway. What a kick return and what field position this is for the Dogs. 11 minutes to go in the first half. And that rain is really heavy now. This 18-point lead is probably a match-winning lead in these conditions. I mean, it's probably a match-winning lead the way that the Rabbitohs are playing, but as we know, anything can happen at the halftime break, right? They'll get a rev up from Uncle Wayne. As Galvin out the back for Tracy, hands it off inside for Kiraz, and he is swamped. Nowhere to go there for Kiraz. 5th and last, 20 out. Sexton back down the short side. Kicking for Wilson. Wilson bats it back in field. Marnie loses it, and the Rabbitohs dive on it. It's still better back, though, for the Rabbitohs. For the Bulldogs, sorry. Hayward. They've got 6 more tackles. Hayward, 10 metres out in front of the sticks. Well, the Rabbitohs have goofed that up quite fiercely. Sexton on to Hayes. And Harry Hayes, 5 out from the line. Where did this rain come from? Marnie from dummy half. Well, I know it came from the sky, but it seemed like there was going to be no weather issues. Sexton, then Galvin, short ball for Preston. Preston beats 1. He's taken down 5 out. That's better from Preston. Kiraz fires it back over to the midfield. Tackle 4. Tracy with the double pump. Short ball for Preston. Preston's half a metre out. 5th and last for the Dogs. Marnie puts the grubber kick through, and the Rabbitohs dive on it. Just in the field of play. Oh, we were that close. Preston was that close. Okay, so there's, big news. There is lightning. Lightning headed towards the stadium within 5 kilometres. They're going to call this game off temporarily. There's lightning There's the threat of lightning strikes. The players are coming off the field. This game has been suspended with 8 minutes 50 to go until the break. Lightning strikes within the vicinity of the stadium, and for player safety, this game has been suspended. Players leaving the field. Well, at least it gives us an opportunity to chat about that question that was raised. And that was Manuel Snow asking, if we were the CEO of a team, would we sack the coach if the team wasn't performing? And I said, it depends if it was the coach's fault. There are some pretty clear instances, I think, where issues with a club are not the coach's fault. I was just talking about the Gold Coast Titans. The Titans on paper could be much better than they actually are. The Brisbane Broncos, we've sort of got the benefit of hindsight at the moment, but maybe Kevy wasn't the problem with the Broncos after all. You know, like that's a situation where the coach got given the rocket, but the team still sucks. So sometimes the coach is the scapegoat, and it's probably not actually their fault. So I would like to think that if I were a CEO of a club, heaven forbid for that club, sometimes you've got to dig a little bit deeper. And if you dig a little bit deeper, you'd find, I mean, look, okay, an example of where it would be a coach's fault. If Queensland gets spanked in Game 2, State of Origin, I really do believe Billy Slater is under immense pressure to retain his job, because it was his selection calls that haven't addressed the core issue of why they lost in Game 1. They lost Game 1 because they got dismantled up front. Yet, he has made no changes up front. What does Corey Horsburgh have to do to get a start in that Queensland squad? One of the best props in the game, and he can't get a run, but he has retained one of his forwards that only ran for 30 meters across the entire game. I would look at that as a CEO and go, okay, it's pretty clear in this instance the coach has not put the proper players in the proper positions. We need to have a look at it. Kay Lane Williams says, I wonder if they called it completely, if we would all get our money back. Ultimately, I think it depends on the bookmaker. Some bookmakers are quite pleasant. I find Sportsbet are usually quite generous with their bet returns. Other bookmakers are not so forthcoming with handing money back. But I think if the game was called off, there would have to be bet returns in this instance. Absolutely. FU says, how the hell they've got Ponga at fullback and not the hammer? Ponga's had the worst season. Slater needs the sack. Yeah, well, Kalen Ponga is one of those players that has a tendency to step up at representative level. He's got a bit of the Latrells about him. Doesn't matter how bad he's going at club, he steps up when he puts that maroon jersey on. So I can understand persisting with Ponga. But as I said, Billy hasn't addressed the core issue. The core issue was up front. So I don't think Ponga's going to see too much ball. The Bunnies are lucky right now, says Sam. They paid Zeus to bring lightning to the field. Was there... Hey, legitimate question. Were there any shots of Wayne Bennett in the coach's box during that first half? I don't recall seeing him. I wonder if he realized this game's gone to hell in a handbasket pretty quickly. I wonder if he did sneak off into the back rooms there and pray to one of the gods for a weather intervention. Scott Wood, ahoy, mate. Go the Mighty Doggies. The Mighty Doggies are rolling on at the moment. But then, game suspended due to lightning. Now, I've seen this happen recently in the cricket. I think it's been a fair while since I've seen it happen in the rugby league. We've definitely seen it a few times recently in the cricket. Christopher, the players are off the field at the moment. There is a big thunderstorm around the stadium. The players have been removed for safety as lightning is around. And you can see it there on the coverage. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, okay. That's a hell of a lightning storm. And that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. This isn't like a baby lightning storm. This is, as somebody in the TikTok chat room said, this is like Zeus himself. Okay. The epicenter of the storm is right above the stadium. Well, the crowd have all moved into the stands under cover. So they're fine. They're all good. It's the players who are out there. The players out in the middle in puddles of water. That's where the danger lies. There's actually footage on YouTube, quite a fair bit of footage in different countries where they keep playing on. Check it out if you get a chance. Lightning strikes on the ground in soccer and stuff like that overseas. Bozza says, first time I've seen a lightning delay. Been a very long while. So if it passes pretty quickly, then obviously the game will go on. I wonder if there's a cutoff time like in the cricket. Presumably there would be. No diss this. No diss. Says the crowd of Doggies fans. They're cooked. They're already cooked. Well, no diss. Coming in with a very clear diss on that occasion. Redo the game, please. Well, that'd be a Rabbitohs supporter, right? Man, can you imagine if they had to redo the whole game? What a godsend it would be for the Rabbitohs, because they've got off to such a poor start here in this opening half. Rabbitohs should just forfeit the game, says Heart Ticker. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see the players too. Like, they're in the changing rooms right now trying to keep warm. There's players on bikes. There's players jogging on the spot, tossing balls up in the air. Do I reckon the Doggies can do a 51-plus game? Probably not in these conditions. The rain started coming down, and that sort of The Bulldogs had already got 18 points by the time it started raining. If it stays like this once the lightning passes, if it's still raining, it'll be very hard to put 50 on. And imagine this too. Heel fries, ahoy, mate. Imagine this as well, okay? So they've come off the field. There's 8 minutes 50 to go until the halftime break. This storm passes. They come back out. They've got to come back out for 9 minutes and then go back again. And then come out again. Jason Hayden, ahoy, mates. Welcome to the lightning delay. I actually think this is a first, not for me, witnessing. I've seen lightning delays before in my time, but this is definitely the first time that we've covered a game with a lightning delay. This is our first stream of rugby league where there has been a game suspended. It happens to us all the time in the cricket coverage. The players go off for rain, or the game never even gets to start for rain. But this is the first time that we've ever live streamed a suspended game. And that halftime break looming. And see, that's the thing, Michelle. Like, I don't think they can. Are there even rules in place for this sort of thing in rugby league? Because obviously in cricket, if this happened right before the lunch break, for example, they would just go to lunch right now. They'd call it a lunch break, and they would do exactly that. Obviously, tack the time on at the end. I don't know that there's any rules around this in rugby league. The halves seem like they've been very specifically split up in 40 minutes for a reason as well. So do you really want to put the players through 49 minutes? And they put the players through 49 minutes. An extra 9 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but yeah, this is craziness. Blue and white, 25 says, go the mighty Bulldogs. So for those just joining us here on the Waste of Water Sports, the game has been suspended due to lightning. There is a lightning storm that's moved in right over the stadium, and they've taken the players off for safety. It is still raining, yes, but the lightning is the concern. So basically what needs to happen at these stadiums is the lightning needs to be outside. Oh, somebody's just run onto the field. Some of the crowd is starting to get restless. We've got a streaker, I believe. Somebody's going to post that on Instagram later or TikTok. So basically what needs to happen in these situations is the lightning needs to move beyond a 5-kilometer radius. If it's within 5 kilometers of the stadium, they take the players off for safety. Now, what's happened here is it's been well within 5 kilometers. By the time the players left the field, the storm was right over the top of the stadium, essentially. You know, we've got State of Origin coming up on Wednesday night here on the Waste of Water Sports. Remember that time that the streaker, that big bloke, ran out nude onto the field and interrupted the play? Now, that was a bloke not be getting naked on television. Josh says West Tigers versus Raiders. Yes, indeed. That's next weekend. Next weekend. Yeah. Oh, well, no. Friday night. Well, Friday night's kind of the weekend, isn't it? Friday night, Tigers, Raiders. Saturday, Warriors, Panthers. Rabbitohs, Storm. Because I have to have some time off in there for the Super Rugby Grand Final. Sunday, Broncos, Sharks, Roosters, Cowboys, Eels, Titans. So that's coming up next weekend. Of course, we got Wednesday night. We've got State of Origin number 2. Damo says Raiders are saying Ricky Stewart's son, Jed, will play, but for who? Fogarty. You know what? I haven't heard that, but that's interesting. Fogarty has not been 100%. Well, he was out injured last week, wasn't he? Fogarty missed the other week because they had Ethan Sanders in. I would have thought Ethan Sanders would be the obvious replacement if Fogarty's out, though. But we'll see. Heart Ticker says, why can't they build a shelter for the stadiums? One where you can open and close. You know, there's a completely enclosed stadium. The Otago Highlanders home field in Super Rugby in Dunedin. A completely enclosed stadium. They never have any issues like this. Rexy, you need Johnston for any time, and Galvin. Marvel Stadium in Melbourne has a roof that closes. There you go. So there are quite a few of them. I should imagine the reason that not everywhere has them, I'm guessing they'd be pretty bloody expensive to build, is what I'd be gathering. That'd be my thoughts. Who's the try leader in the league? Ooh, the try scoring leader. I know that Jermaine Osako is the points leader, but then he's been doing that through goal kicking combined with the occasional try, hasn't he? The current try leader in the league is... Yeah, Jermaine Osako most, but Ryan Pappenhausen. There you go. Okay. I'm surprised and not surprised all at the same time. DJ Shaq, Ahoy, mates. Ryan Pappenhausen's got 12. Jesse Arthurs has got 11. The Hammer with 10. Fletcher Sharp and Hudson Young. He's in the top 5 with 10. That's quite a surprising list. Michelle asked, do I remember the game when it snowed in Canberra, early 2000s? Well, that's happened quite a few times in Canberra. It happened a lot in the 80s and 90s in Canberra as well, because they actually built snow into the video game, E.T.'s Rugby League. Is anybody old enough to remember E.T.'s Rugby League? I had it on Commodore 64. And because of it snowing in Canberra during that season, they actually built snow into the game. Latest movies, asking when the game will start. They're just waiting for this storm to move across the stadium. And I'm not talking about the Melbourne storm, an actual storm. It's bypassing the stadium at the moment, then they'll come back out there. as the players desperately trying to keep warm there in the changing room. A storm that you like, Melbourne. Michelle. Oh God, I just called you Melbourne. That is like the ultimate unintentional insult for you. Heart Ticker says, thoughts on South Africa beating Australia in cricket. The curse has been lifted. The curse has been broken. At last, South Africa have won a major trophy. I congratulate them for that. I've always had a soft spot for the Proteas. As I was talking the other night, I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for the Proteas. Some of my favorite cricket players over the years have been from South Africa. Lance Klusener, Sean Pollock, Jonty Rhodes. But they have a long and storied history of choking in big games and losing big tournaments. I remember that World Cup, Cricket World Cup, 50 overs in South Africa, and they got knocked out in the group stages. They didn't even make it through to the finals. Toby says, thoughts on Socceroos making the 2026 World Cup? Yeah. For people that are into soccer, I'm sure that that's amazing. I don't follow soccer personally, but I understand that the Socceroos, they sort of went through a period where they were going quite well, and then it just completely dropped off. They're now returning to some resemblance of form, I'm guessing. And qualifying for the 2026 World Cup is all just part of that. I mean, congratulations to them. I don't follow it at all, so I can't really say too much about it. 5 minutes away. Okay, so the storm has passed. The teams are now going through their warm-up drills. 5 minutes. And then the game will get back underway, supposedly. So for those just joining, there was a big storm. Players had to leave the fields while the lightning passed the stadium. The teams are now 5 minutes away from returning. There's 9 minutes to go until the halftime break. The Bulldogs dominating and leading 18 points to 0. Caesar says, is that Melbourne sending a message to the doggies? Quite possibly. Melbourne don't need to send a message to the doggies. Everybody knows that Melbourne are the favourites for the premiership this year. I'm sure, including Cameron Ciraldo and the doggies. Nick Clark says Rabbitohs should be saying, call it off. Give us a point each. Got wood. They added more to the World Cup. It was 44 odd teams. Now it's more like 60 teams. Good Lord. Well, soccer is one of the sports that has a true World Cup, isn't it? Rugby union's got a pretty solid one as well. Martin Waka, do I prefer union or league? Me personally, I prefer rugby union. I preferred playing it. back in my day. Certainly prefer watching it. Did anyone see the random Souths fan at the NBA Finals? I didn't see it, would you believe? But absolutely believable. It's become a thing. Like, I think sometimes people don't even know what random Souths is. They just hear about it and they want to be memed. Yeah. Notice this. Dan, did you play hooker? I was very first selected in my primary school team as hooker, yes. That's when I played rugby league, by the way. In rugby union, no, in rugby union, I started off as a fullback. I then moved to inside centre, and I ended up as a prop because I just kept getting bigger and bigger. Nick Clark says there's always random Souths fans at WrestleMania. Yeah. Well, see, I believe the random Souths fans at WrestleMania because there's always a lot of Aussies that travel over. Speaking of WrestleMania, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m., right here on the channel. Not another bloody wrestling show. Jace will be over. Aquaman himself, Jason, he'll be over. And we'll be covering the past fortnight of wrestling. Here comes the referee. All right, the officials are heading back out onto the ground. The fans are now starting to wander back to their seats. And it looks like we're going to get play back underway very, very soon. So, Bulldogs leading 18 points to 0. There's 9 minutes to go until the halftime break. Talon, ahoy. Viliami Kikau leading the Bulldogs back out onto the field. Let's see. Is that little break in play an absolute godsend for the Bunnies? Nine minutes to go until the halftime break. Jack Whiten leads the Rabbitohs out. And the Rabbits looking a little bit flat. I mean, they are trailing 18 points to 0, I suppose. So, I mean, they're not going to necessarily be full of life. But I feel like the Bulldogs quite clearly had much better body language heading back out onto the field. Now, it seems like the rain might have passed as well. The rain is not heavy enough to be visible on the TV cameras. So we might start to see some more points, which brings our multis back into play heading into the second half. Oh, the pitch invader stole the ball. Wow. Okay. There was either more than one pitch invader or security was just really lax in getting over and stopping them. Because the invasion initially was the complete other end of the field, I believe, from where the ball was. Kalamatangi plays it now on tackle 5. We are off and running in this one. 9 minutes to go till the break. Hubner puts the kick downfield. Bounces up nicely for Connor Tracy at the back, and Tracy runs it back into Rabbitohs territory. And the Bulldogs, they'll start this, what would you call it? It's still the first half. This next little phase of play, they're in very good field position. 40 out from the line. And Curtis Moran's on the field. Zapeng, Suman, ahoy mate, let's go. Blue is the sky, let's fly. as the captain, kick out. Just outside the 20. 2 tackles left here for the Dogs. Hayward. Dummies. Taken down. 5th and last. Sexton. 10 out. Chips over the top. Looking for the bounce for himself. But Jai Gray takes it and runs it over the dead ball line. Goal line restart incoming. Another result here for the Bulldogs. Well, they've come out and not missed a beat. Restarting the onslaught, yes. Scott Wood as Humphreys goes short, but where was the chase? It was a little bit too deep, yes, but where was the chase? No enthusiasm whatsoever here from the Bunnies. Tackle 1 here for the Dogs. 15 out. Hayward. On to Moran. Moran carries it to the 10. 6 minutes left in this opening half. Hayward heads across field. He's got Sexton and Kickow now. Angling back in. Beats the first tackle. 5 meters out. Sweet Pea, Ahoy. Hayward stepping in midfield. A meter short. Bailey Hayward. 2 tackles left here for the Dogs. Marnie to Sexton. Through the hands now. Tracy. Flat pass to our boy Preston. 5th and last. Sexton puts it into the in-goal. Contestable kick. Viliami kick out, takes it. Tries to fight his way to ground, but he's held up. What defense from the Rabbitohs, but what a leap from the big man, Viliami kick out. The Rabbitohs survived that one. Oh, Joseph Toliafoa, you need kick out. Oh, that was so close. You know what? Preston, earlier in the half. So close. He was half a meter out from the line. Less than half a meter. $30 out from their own line now. The Bunnies. Kalamatangi. Driven back now on the 5th and last. 30 meters gained off this set for the Rabbitohs. Humphreys puts the kick downfield. Easy take at the back here for Wilson. Gives it to Tracy. Tracy fends off the tackle. Offloads for Montoya. Montoya can't get on the outside of the defense. Nick Clark on TikTok and Michelle on YouTube simultaneously. It was so coordinated. Both of those chats came through at the exact millisecond same time, letting me know that the halftime break has been reduced a couple of minutes. And the Bulldogs get a penalty here. Bulldogs penalty just inside their own half. Slowing the play the ball. Sexton finds touch, 30 out from the Rabbitohs line. They go straight back on the attack. Joseph Toliafoa, you put $10 on Bulldogs 51 plus. Good Lord. Wow, that stoppage was terrible in that case because they were on such a roll. They've come back out and they've started essentially where they left off. So as Marnie dummies left, goes back right for Tracy. Tracy steps back infield towards the posts. 3 tackles left here. Marnie sends it left for Hayward. Out the back for Sexton. Short ball for Kickow. Kickow's half a meter out. He rolls over the line, but he's held up again. Oh, Viliami Kickow just cannot get the ball to ground at the moment. Joseph's going to be throwing stuff at the TV soon. He's been twice close now in a couple of minutes. As Curtis Moran, a meter out, right in front of the post, 5th and last. Hayward to Galvin. Here's Kickow again. Kickow scores! Penalty! Obstruction penalty It's been taken away before it's even given. Okay. The TV in that house is now officially broken. I'm sure of it. Army kick out. The third time in 3 minutes is across the line. Twice held up. This time a penalty is given to the Rabbitohs. And now another one. Back-to-back penalties as the Bulldogs are offside from the restart. Jaden Sullivan finds touch, 35 out from the Bulldogs line. Sullivan on to Humphreys. Now Kalamatungi in midfield. 2 minutes left until the halftime break. Hubner, 20 out. 3 tackles left here for the Bunnies. I wonder what Wayne said at halftime. Humphreys to Gray, spins out of the tackle of Sherry. But 15 meters out here, 2 tackles left. Scooting out of dummy half. LeBlanc, 10 out from the line. Kalamatungi to Humphreys, who kicks for the corner. Alex Johnston's there, but it's lost by Wilson. It sits up for Alex Johnston, and Johnston scores the try. A tick off the multi. Alex Johnston. A lot of luck there. More ass than class, as we like to say. But they'll take it, and I'll take it. It's a tick off the multi. And the Rabbitohs have hit back. Blake Wilson losing the ball now. Oh, wait a minute. Has this deflected forward off his teammate. So Blake Wilson wins the battle in the air. Loses the ball. Oh. Inconclusive. Inconclusive whether there was a touch. The try stands at the moment. They'll have another look. This might be a better angle. Oh, no. There's bodies in the way there. They're also very closely looking at a potential touch from Jack Whiten. Oh, Jack Whiten might have touched it. Oh, wow. There's quite a few camera angles to check here. This try has not been awarded yet. I might have been a bit premature in putting that tick up. Dallas Duncan now tries to get the ball as he touched it as well. Try confirmed. There we go. We'll have yourself an ice cold beer, Alex Johnston. Glenn Woods, the lightning and thunder all around you, getting louder and louder. Okay, so Glenn Woods, you're obviously on the side of the stadium that it moved away from as Humphreys pushes this past the near upright. And we go into halftime, 18 points to 4. (18-4) at the break. A much-needed try for the Bunnies. But the Bulldogs obviously still well on top here. Army kick out. He's been close a few times. He's not in my multi, but I know that he's in a couple of other people's multis. Craig Howarth. 202 tries for Alex Johnston. 10 more to go. And he becomes the all-time leading try scorer. And I should imagine he'll get there as well, to be honest. Whoa, road rage videos. I love seeing those. I mean, it's obviously no fun for the persons involved. They are fun to watch, though. So 18 points to 4 at the halftime break. It is the proper halftime break on this occasion. The game is not suspended anymore. There's no delays for weather. It is the proper halftime break. 18 points to 4. The Bulldogs comfortably leading at the moment over the Bunnies, but South Sydney striking right on halftime. Alex Johnston with the try. Viliami kick out. He was close 3 times in 3 minutes in the lead up to that. Jacob Preston's been close a couple of times. So the Bulldogs still on top here. Some much needed points for the Rabbitohs to go into that halftime break. All right, so it is apparently going to be a shorter halftime break on this occasion because of that delay earlier. So we'll have a quick break here on the Waste of Water Sports and be right back after this for the second half. Bulldogs, Rabbitohs, 18-4, second half to come.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pence less from the kickoff to the final whistles blow. We'll take the 2 and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With a laugh and a cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques, just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a load, from sideline jokes to post-match tales, all the big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join our sporty crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer. Yeah.
All right, halftime here, 18 points to 4. Pensy, Pensy, ahoy there. Glenn Wood says if anybody deserves that try-scoring record, it's got to be Alex Johnston. Kyle's got the Dogs 13 plus, Kickow, Montoya, and Johnston. Oh, there'll be another person throwing things at the TV over Viliami Kickow. Kickow, of course, he's been held up over the try line twice. He scored a try, but it was a penalty to the Rabbitohs. And now he's getting his pants off in the changing room. That's what he thinks of that. Riley disagrees with Glenn Woods about Alex Johnston deserving the try-scoring record. Because he does nothing but dives over the line. But then, in fairness, Riley, your job as winger is to finish plays and score tries. And if falling over the line is all you need to do, he's doing his job. Dina says, what do you say to Souths at halftime? Well, I'm sure that Uncle Wayne will be saying, well, we have not been in this contest at all in this opening half. But here we are, only 14 points behind. I can use that as a positive. So let's just build on what we have here, what we've started here. It's a complete reset. Start at 0-0. Riley Jim says I should be a coach for under sixes. Nah. No way. I couldn't handle a bunch of 6-year-olds running around the place. Bugger that. When I played under sixes, we had kids that ran in the wrong direction. I could only imagine being an adult and trying to put up with that bollocks. Kyle, 77. All you need is Kickow. Oh. Here's the problem with same-game multis. When you've got a player in your same-game multi, and he's been across the line 3 times already, and hasn't yet got a try, I start to get nervous. I start to get very nervous. But on the plus side, the positives to take out of it is Viliami Kickow is being very heavily featured in a lot of plays down the Rabbitohs danger zone. So if they continue that in the second half, I'm sure he'll get more opportunities. We'll see, though, and we'll see very, very shortly, because here he is, Viliami Kickow, leading the team back out onto the park. 18 points to 4 at the break. It was an important try right on half-time for South Sydney. Certainly not out of this one, although it looked like it for large parts of that first half that they weren't going to be any threat. Scott Wood says, nah, me either. Talking about coaching under sixes, 14s and up is okay. Yes, 100% Scott, because, yeah, by the time I got to that age level myself, we started to understand a little bit more about what was going on in the games. Basic stuff like try lines that way. Tactics become more of a thing. So I reckon I'd be all right with that. And they're teenagers by that point as well. So you're not dealing with kids anymore. You are dealing with moody-ass teenagers, though. Yeah, that's got some drawbacks as well, doesn't it? Second half about to get underway. Bulldogs 18, Rabbitohs 4. Off we go. The Rabbitohs will get first use of it here in the second half. If they can ping first points, 18 points to 10, suddenly it's well and truly game on. Glenn Woods, how about Verstappen at the Canadian Grand Prix? Well, as they move it left early here, the Rabbitohs trying to catch the Bulldogs napping. And it's Mighty Mouse, Jai Gray, taking on the 30 over on that left edge. Enterprising opening set, this one. But yeah, Max Verstappen will be starting from second on the grid. George Russell pulled a lap and a half out of nowhere to steal pole. But I reckon Oscar Piastri will, he'll be ahead of, well, I think both Max and Piastri will be through Russell within the opening sort of 7 laps. And then I think ultimately Piastri, McLaren still have the better race pace than Red Bull. So for Max Verstappen, I think the key to his race is get past George Russell on the opening lap and then put daylight between him and the rest of the pack. That's his key to victory, because if Piastri stays on his tail, he'll be in first place soon enough with McLaren's superior race pace. That's my opinion. Fifth and last, Bulldogs on halfway. Sexton puts this kick downfield. And it's taken by Johnston at the back. Brings it outside the 20. Gray at first receiver. Gives it off to Munro. Munro with a good, strong carry. Up to the 30. Go the Bunnies. Held and driven backwards is Humphreys there, I think it was, going on a run. Kalamatangi to Humphreys. Quick hands from Gray, and here's Johnston in open space. Johnston down the left flank. He's got Humphreys on the inside. It's batted back by the Bulldogs. Humphreys collects it. 6 more tackles. Here come the Bunnies. From dummy half, Jack Whiten tries to fight his way over. Loses the ball. Jack Whiten. Oh, now there's a penalty. A penalty to the Rabbitohs. The call from the bunker. Jack Whiten's had that ball illegally stripped out. Well, here they come, the Rabbitohs. Ten meters out from the line, Kalamatangi. Tackle 1. Oh, Totola was supposed to be the decoy, but he ends up with the ball. He does well to hold on there. To the left edge they go. Humphreys. Taken down a meter short. Kalamatangi now in midfield. Dancing around, but nowhere to go. To the left edge. Rabbitohs, 5th and last. Hubner onto Humphreys. Grubbers in behind the line. And Connor Tracy slides across the deck. Scoops the ball up all in one motion. Centimetres out from their own try line here, the Dogs. Tackle 2, still a metre out. Bronson Sherry tries to give some go forward. This is going to be a tough set for the Bulldogs. They will be trying every trick in the book to try and milk a penalty here. Tackle 4, they're just outside the 10. Kiraz with a nice step. And a good carry from Jacob Kiraz. Oh, no. Now he's looked to offload and Marnie wasn't ready for it. And they've lost the ball. They are just inviting the Rabbitohs into this contest. It's like a completely different half of footy. Judah, Shivian, ahoy, mate. Harry Pro, ahoy there. What's my favorite team in the NRL? I'm afraid I go for the Cronulla Sharks, and it's a hard life. Scrum down here for the Bunnies. 30 out from the line. They go right. Munro fends off one, but he slips in the process. They get a penalty, though, from the scrum. Offside the Bulldogs. Well, they should repack the scrum. Nope. They're taking the penalty. 20 metres out from the line. Rabbitohs tap and go. Sullivan onto Totola. Totola in midfield. 15 metres out. Play one. 6 minutes gone in the second half. No change to that halftime score. Ryan Gray, his NRL debut in at dummy half. 3 left here for the Bunnies. Gray sends it left. Humphreys drops it off on the inside, and Callis Duncan will be tackled 10 metres out. Short ball from Hubner to Totola, 5th and last. Humphreys, cut out pass for Jai Gray. Gray with the step, and he's met and taken down. 5 out from the try line on that left edge handover. Big defense from the Rabbitohs. Well, they have lifted here in this second half. Whatever Wayne Bennett said at halftime, definitely got them coming out of the gate pretty well. Absolutely knee crumbler. Warriors definitely get the 2 points this weekend for sure. And Glenn Woods wants the Rabbits to get up, so the Wars stay up with the Dogs. 5th and last now, Bulldogs. Sexton from inside his own 40. Gets good purchase on it, but Johnston's back. Johnston takes it on the full, and he returns it to the 30, or just short thereof. Rabbitohs back in possession. The Lightning has indeed passed DJ Shack as Munro heads across field. Easily picked off there by Montoya. 8 minutes gone in the second half. No change to the score. 18-4 it was at the halftime break. Humphreys onto Jai Gray. The short ball is well read by the Bulldogs defense. 5th and last. Duncan plays it. They stay short side for Humphreys. Puts it high. Taken by Tracy. Returns it. Short of the 20. They drive him backwards as well. Bulldogs will start the set in midfield. 15 out from their own line. Judah Shivian, you've bet on the Dogs 5 times this season and only lost once. Don't think they're in any danger this game. Well, they could find themselves in danger. They've got to be careful. It's only 18 points to 4. And if the Rabbitohs score first, as DJ Shack says, that long break halted the Bulldogs' momentum. Certainly did. Kick out. Can't get the arms free. 5th and last, Sexton steps just outside the 40. Picks out Alex Johnston again, though. And Johnston returns it to the 30. They hold him up and drive him back. Preston in there. Big defense. Much better defense this time. Whiten carries to the 30. Glenn Woods, you enjoyed Hull KO winning the Challenge Cup last weekend. JWH and Peter Hiku for the W. As up to halfway now goes Jai Arrow. Still a tackle left. 5th and last, Bunnies inside Bulldogs territory. A much better second half it's been so far. The opening 10 minutes as Humphreys puts this high. This is a testing kick in the conditions. taken by Tracy. And Tracy winds up, brings it outside the 20. And this is a little bit of a better start for the Bulldogs. Front foot ball already from Connor Tracy. Curran, very slow in receiving that pass. He had to stall his forward momentum to reach back for it slightly. And an early kick here from Marnie from inside the 40. 40-20's on. Jai Gray tracks across, picks it up millimeters in the touchline. But that was great heads-up play from Reed Marnie, and he very nearly pulled it off. Oh, there's a player down in back play. Is that Kiraz? Jacob Kiraz is down. He's done his shoulder. Oh, well, there goes my multi anyway. Not that it was looking good. It wasn't looking good at all, but it is done now. That is Kiraz done for the night. Fifth and last, Rabbitohs. Sullivan keeps a low, flat kick that sits up at the back for Tracy. Kiraz is still down in back play. He's done a shoulder. Kiraz is on the ground in a world of pain, clutching his right shoulder, and already up on the bench. Yeah, he's still down. He's still down. Kiraz, he's done. Time is off. Referee's blown time off. Kiraz is down. That's his night done. He is in a world of hurt. Wow, he had a good sniff of Jai Gray's ass crack there. What he did. But then he's done his shoulder in, the poor fella. Well, that is very unfortunate. I mean, not just for our multis, but for Kiraz himself. Well, this looks like it might be a stretcher job. He was clutching at his shoulder, but now there seems to be concern around his neck. This is going to be a stretcher job for Jacob Kiraz. Concern for the Bulldogs. Concern from Cameron Serraldo. And that will most certainly be Kiraz's night. That is most certainly. Well, I mean, that's my multi done, but I mean, there's bigger things at play. Oh, he's up. Whoa, he's up. Kiraz is up on his feet. Do not tell me he's walking back to position. What a tough son of a bitch. He is jogging back into position. He looked like he was done for all money. Oh, wow. Kiraz is back in position. Blake Taft sits back down on the bench. Unbelievable. He looked like he was done for all money. He was flat on the ground, not moving, in immense pain. As Turpin takes it up over halfway now. Fifth and last, Bulldogs. Short side they go for Sexton. Not much of a kick. That one picks out Alex Johnston again. This is really going to come back to haunt at some point. Kicking to Alex Johnston on the full. Duncan brings it outside the 30. 18 points to 4. It remains. Kalamatangi through the hands now. Jai Gray. Space on this right edge, but Tass goes into contact. Frank Pritchard. Is Frank Pritchard the bloke that played with a broken jaw? Who's the bloke? It might be Frank Pritchard. Somebody played an entire game almost with their jaw essentially hanging off their face. This kick goes downfield. I remember the old Panther talking about it in one of the Generations podcasts. "20 out from their own line here, the Bulldogs. 27 minutes left to play. 18 points to 4. So, yeah, that lightning stoppage certainly ruined the game a little bit. Is that safe to say? As the Bulldogs kick early again, can't get the ball in behind Alex Johnston, who takes it on the full, winds up and returns it to the 30. That lightning break stalled all the momentum that the Bulldogs have built up. We're going back through the feeling out process all over again. It's very much like the game just restarted, but the Bulldogs with the benefit of 18 points head start. Kalamatangi onto Humphreys, who dummies. Carries up over halfway. Kalamatangi again. Reed Marnie races up on him. The kick downfield from Havili. Taken by Tracy. Tracy sacked as soon as he hits the deck. 18 points to 4 it is. Bulldogs 10 out from their own line. Montoya spins away from 1. Sherry driven back in the tackle. John Sattler played with a broken jaw. Well, I'm sure it's happened for more than one player. The Sexton keeps the ball alive. Here's Hayward in midfield. Bailey Hayward taken down. Tackle 4. Hannah, BTW, needs kick out a score as well. Quite a few people needing Viliami Kikau, who's been across the line 3 times tonight, painfully. There's Galvin from inside the 40, but again, picking out the man on the full. They are just not finding the grass with the kicks in this second half, the Bulldogs. As Munro heads across field, he's taken down. Easy pickings for the Bulldogs defense. Very flat-footed here from the Bunnies. Up over halfway goes Arrow. Penalty to the Rabbitohs. Jai Arrow, of course, getting heated. Well, what a surprise that is. Jai Arrow involved in a scuffle? No. Not possible. It is a penalty to the Rabbitohs on halfway, though. Finding touch now, 30 meters out from the line. Humphreys onto Kalamatangi. This game just needs a little something to spark it to life. It'll open up soon, I'm sure, in the final 20 minutes. There's Davey Moale, 15 out from the line, just to the right of the post. Sullivan to Humphrey. Short ball opens up a huge gap for Tallis Duncan, and it is game well back on now. 18 points to 8, kick to come. And there's that little spark of life that this game needed. Sullivan out the back to Humphreys. A short ball for Tallis Duncan. And this game has some big life in it now, as that try is confirmed. It's 18-8. The kick to come from just to the left of the post should make it 18-10. And that is some beautiful work. Jamie Humphreys has just completely owned his opposite number there. 18 points to 8. Kick to come. Conversion successful. And it's 18 points to 10. Game on. Rabbitohs almost back within striking distance. Osh K says the first half ruined the game. Back underway. Rabbitohs now. Kalamatangi. The missed conversion could prove to be quite crucial. Gina Ferricini, ahoy. I was wondering what I was going to have for dinner tonight. Now I feel like pasta. Oh! One of the Bunnies players staying down here trying to Milky Magoo a penalty. Nishal Shand, ahoy mates. Come on Bulldogs, he says. Scott Wood says doggies need to switch on for the last 20 minutes. Play on is the call. Alice Duncan was a bit concerned about an eye poke there. As Jai Arrows met hard in a three-man tackle. Driven backwards. And what do we got here? Oh, no, go back and play it properly. Is the call from the referee. As Kalamatangi offloads. Keeping the ball alive on the left. Humphreys to Whiten. Whiten spells it. Well, Jack Whiten leaves the Raiders to chase a premiership. Not only has Jack Whiten been terrible ever since he put a Bunnies jersey on, but how good have the Raiders been traveling since he left? Kick out in midfield. Was over the try line 3 times in the first half. Viliami kick out. 40 meters out. The Bulldogs. Through Sexton now, who dummies. Takes the line on. He's brought to ground. Tackle 3. 35 out in midfield. 6 more for the Bulldogs. Set restart. Tracy to Preston. Preston carries inside the 30. Curran in midfield. Marnie onto Turpin. Sexton inside for Preston again. Tackle 3. Kaylane Williams needs Munro and Wilson. Here's kick out. Gets it to Galvin. Sherry to Montoya. Montoya dives for the corner for a double. Marcelo Montoya gets 2. Share it around, would you, mate? And that left edge of the Dogs is firing. 22 points to 10. They extend that lead back out, nullifying that Rabbitohs try, potentially. It was the little in and away from Viliami Kikau. Created the overlap. And it was easy pickings from there on in. Draw and pass, draw and pass. Easy as you like. 22-10, kick to come. So this multi's looking pretty cooked. How's everybody else doing? Toby Sexton lining this one up from bang on the sideline. Left edge, favoured side for a right-footed kicker. Strikes this one well, but hooks it off past this near upright. 22 points to 10 it remains. So there, that nullifies the missed conversion earlier from the Rabbitohs. Still within 2 converted tries. E.B. Williams, ahoy, mate. Wednesday night, State of Origin number 2. Looking forward to that one. I've got the Blues winning that 13+. I've got Latrell Mitchell anytime try. And I'm having to think about the rest of that. How do I piece together the rest of that multi? From the restart here, the Bulldogs tackle 2. Kick out, plays it. 15 out from their own line. Curran carries outside the 20. Rabbitohs probably need to be the next to score now. 12 points the difference. 17.5 to play. It's still on. This match as a contest. Still on for the time being. Tallis Duncan was the try scorer. FU. Tallis Duncan for the Bunnies as the Bulldogs chase hard. They put a big hit on Tyrone Munro. Munro stays down. They're trying to get a penalty here, the Bunnies. Well, this is what they've resorted to. Staying down and trying to milk the penalties and the free ride up the field. And, oh, fair enough too. Jake Turpin has just come flying in with the shoulder to the face. This is going to be on report. 10 in the bin. And a penalty to the Rabbitohs. Have a sit down, Jakey Turpin. There we go. It's confirmed. On report, 10 in the bin. 17 minutes left to play. The next 10, the Bulldogs are going to have to do it a man down. Now, is this a turning point? That is just completely reckless and careless from Jake Turpin. That was horrible. Rabbitohs find touch on their own 40. And up to halfway they go on tackle 1. They just haven't clicked into gear this second half, have they, the Bulldogs? The worst possible thing that happened to them was that lightning game suspension. Humphreys to the left they go. Gray onto Whiten, who steps back in field. 40 out from the line on that left edge. They are the Bunnies. Humphreys into midfield. Davey Moali's been copped high here. He gets up and plays the ball, though. Credit to him. Havili, from dummy half. Tackle 5 here for the Bunnies. Poor pass. Kalaumatangi feeds it along to Sullivan, who puts this kick up. Montoya takes it with ease. Sends it back in field for Tracy. Tracy gives the ball to Kiraz. The counter-attack was on momentarily, but Rabbitohs number up. Wilson brings it outside the 20. FJ 73. Stephen Crichton's a hell of a player, isn't he? Stephen Crichton would be a loss to any team. And in my opinion, Stephen Crichton doesn't get enough credit for his performance in that comeback against the Broncos in the grand final. If Stephen Crichton doesn't have the game that he has, Nathan Cleary doesn't have the platform to have that final 10, 15-minute blinder that he had. Fifth and last now, the Bulldogs put this ball up. Alex Johnston takes it, and he's tracked down by Blake Wilson. Tackled inside his own 10. Gray, dummies. He's held up and driven backwards now. Kickout's got him. Held is the call, and this will be a penalty. They've overdone it there. Reid Marnie just goes a little too far, as he often does. The initial contact and the initial drag was fine, but then Reid Marnie just went once too often, and they've given away the penalty. The suitable lock each way for the Dogs seems to be Bulldogs head-to-head and Montoya anytime. That wouldn't be much of a payout, but certainly a very high percentage strike rate. Absolutely. As the Rabbitohs find touch here, just short of halfway. Now, Jai Arrow goes up beyond the halfway line, finding half a gap. 40 out from the line. Kalamatangi offloads. Back for Havili. Now Sullivan in midfield. Taken down by Kikau and Galvin in tandem. 2 tackles left here for the Bunnies. Left they go. Humphreys on the wraparound, but Duncan backed himself there, Tallis Duncan. Fifth and last, 20 out. Humphreys, crossfield kick. Contestable ball, this one. Lost back by the Bulldogs, and Montoya comes away with it. 13 and a half minutes to go. 12 points the difference. Bulldogs a man down. Doggies a man down. Tracy heads up the middle of the field. Sexton, dummies. Was he taken high, Sexton? Yes, he was. Penalty to the Bulldogs, and the crowd erupts. The crowd has gone absolutely ballistic. A penalty at last for the Bulldogs here in the second half. Much needed penalty here for the Doggies. As Sexton finds touch. 40 metres out from the Rabbitohs line. 12 and a half to go. Kiraz taps and goes. Kiraz slotting into the number 4 tonight, but Jacob Kiraz, amazing winger. Absolutely no substitute for Stephen Crichton in the number 4 jersey, though, as we're finding out. Sexton drops it off on the inside for Kikau. Kikau still going. Fends off a couple. Still going, Kikau. Brought down, 15 out from the line. Play 3. Marnie to Sexton. The dummy. Tackle 4. They're 5 metres out. Marnie, fires it into the head of Josh Curran. It's a falcon, and the Rabbitohs come away with it. The Bulldogs get that horribly wrong. The falcon of all falcons, Marnie, just fires this into Josh Curran. And the Rabbitohs survive for the time being. 12 points the difference. 11 and a half minutes to go. They're still seeming quite comfortable at the moment, the Bulldogs. It might be panic stations, though, if they leak another try here. Malcolm. You feel much better for the Warriors watching this game. People are sleeping on the wires. Is this kick downfield from Humphreys? Sits up for Tracy at the back. And the Bulldogs will start this set in good field position if Connor Tracy straightens. He's got about 15 metres backwards. Connor Tracy's run about 15 metres backwards. So they've lost that field position. And now Kalamatangi's off for HIA. Well, there goes I mean, not that my multi's going to hit anyway, but there goes Kalamatangi for the rest of the night. And Jack Whiten's definitely not scoring a try. He can't even hold on to the bloody ball at the moment. 10 minutes left in the game. 12 points the difference. Montoya driven back in the tackle. They've gone nowhere this set. And it was all off the back of Connor Tracy deciding to run backwards off the kick return. Curran, that's better. Up to halfway. 2 tackles left. Sexton, they're going to run it here. Kiraz, Grubbers in behind the line. They're offside here. The Bulldogs kick chase. The ball is still alive. Connor Tracy gets a boot to it. Plants it down in the end goal. But I'm pretty sure they were all offside there, the Bulldogs chasers. It'll go up as a try. And they'll have a look. At the moment, it's another try for Connor Tracy, his second. But they're a mile offside here, the kick chasers. They're all so far offside. So they decide once again to run it. Kiraz, Grubbers in behind the line, but yeah, all those Bulldogs chasers offside by a mile. Marnie's offside. Tracy's offside. Sexton's offside. Galvin's offside. Every single kick chaser is offside. Connor Tracy himself is offside. So this will be no try. Penalty to the Rabbitohs with 9 minutes remaining. It'll go back to 22 points to 10. There's time enough if they're good enough, as the saying goes. Penalty here for the Bunnies. Humphreys will find touch just short of halfway. 45 out from their own line here, the Bunnies, to start this set. Whiten taps it. Nope, told to go back and take it properly. Okay, Whiten, take 2, taps it, gives it to Duncan. Duncan carries it into Bulldogs territory. Play 1. A converted try would make things very interesting indeed. As Moale in midfield looks to duck under the defense. Can't get through. Here's Arrow to Humphreys. Now Jai Gray. The cutout pass is battered down by Blake Wilson and into touch. 6 more tackles for the Rabbitohs, but time, importantly. Ball's off the clock here as they restart. 12 points the difference. 9 to play. And in midfield, Viliami Kickhouse come flying out of the line. Completely missed the hit. Luckily for that Rabbitohs attacker. Now Duncan goes through. He's got support from Johnston. Back in field for Whiten. Jack Whiten scores. Jack Whiten scores a try. It's a tick off the multi. And I'm pretty sure all of 5 minutes ago, I said that there was no chance Jack Whiten was scoring a try. Well, there he is, making a mockery of me. Down the short side. Some slick, quick hands there from the Rabbitohs. 22 points to 14. Try confirmed. Jack Whiten gets across. Well, who knows? I might actually get my money back yet. If I get one more leg, I'll get my bonus bet money back. 22 points to 14. This kick to come. It's a crucial one from the sideline. Over on that left edge. Favoured side for a right-footed kicker, but I believe Jamie Humphreys might be a left. He might be a lefty. Yes, he is. Left-footed kicker, left side of the field. Oh, this is a huge moment in the game. Humphreys puts it on target. It's hooking. It's hooking too far. It hits the post and bounces away. 22 points to 14. A second missed conversion for the Bunnies. That was a crucial one. It was a tough kick. Left edge for a left-footed kicker. I tell you what, if they've got anybody in that lineup that's a right-footed kicker, might have been a better option. 7 minutes left to go. Bulldogs with the restart. They've done it tough in the second half, the doggies. Davey Moali. 15 out. That was such a crucial conversion, that one. Needed to go over. Humphreys now, as they spread it left. Alex Johnston steps back in field as he catches that ball on the bounce. Offloads back for Duncan. Duncan's been immense here in this second half. Taken down on play 3. Slow play the ball. Havili, flat pass at best there to LeBlanc. Tackle 4. Humphreys now onto Gray. Back in field they go, and up the middle goes Humphreys. He's taken down on halfway. 5th and last. Havili down the short side, and don't tell me Jai Arrow just kicked this. It's a hell of a kick, though. What a kick that is. It sits up for Connor Tracy, though, in the end goal, and he returns it to the 10. Stephen Peake, Ahoy, mate. Bulldogs needed to make a statement today, and they haven't. Well, they did until the Lightning game suspension. The Bulldogs were doing it easy until the game was suspended. Kickout offloads. Back for Galvin. Galvin's got open space. He's also got support. And Blake Taft's up over halfway. Taft cuts back in field. 40 metres out from the line now, the doggies. 2 tackles left. Galvin. Inside for Hayward. Hayward beats one. Hayward steps around Gray. He's brought down 20 out. 5th and last. Galvin runs to the line. Grubber's in behind. It sits up nicely for Tass. And Tass brings it back into the field of play. Kangaroo on the Captain Morgans tonight, as that's a big hit. High contact again from the Bulldogs. Penalty to the Rabbitohs. Yeah, I love me. I love my captain. I salute my captain. On report for that tackle, again, Josh Curran. So 4 minutes, 48 to go. Bulldogs leading by 8. Humphreys finds touch. 35 out from their own line here now, the Rabbitohs. They need a try. They need the conversion. They then need a penalty goal or a 2-point drop goal. At least. To send us to golden point. Through the hands, and they've lost it. And it sits up for the Bulldogs. Preston gives it off for Sherry. Counter-attack is on. 25 metres out from the line. 0 tackle. Turpin carries inside the 20. It should be all good now for the Bulldogs. Sexton onto Curran. Curran 10 metres out. All right. Preston or Kiraz to get my money back. Come on. A metre out from the line. The Bulldogs on tackle 2. Hayward, short ball is lost forward, but it'll be a penalty because the Rabbitohs were offside. Preston. Oh, they're going to have a shot at goal here. The Bulldogs are going to have a crack at 2. Well, this makes no sense, really. They must be absolutely spent. The Bulldogs. Absolutely spent on attack. 3 minutes left to play. The shot at 2 will wind the clock down, obviously, but it doesn't accomplish a whole heap. A very defensively minded decision. Toby Sexton moves in, strikes it, misses it. Oh, no, he's put it through. Okay, well, that looked like it missed. He's put it over. 24 points to 14. And the Bulldogs, with 2 more minutes left to play, have surely got the job done now. B-Man says just give the ball to Kickow at the 10 or the 20. Exactly. Do they not understand that some of us have multis on the line? As the Rabbitohs go short with the restart, Kickow spills it, and then the Rabbitohs spill it. Double knock on, and the Rabbitohs will get the ball back. Challenge from Viliami Kickow, but he clearly lost it. It's a hopeful challenge. So here's the restart. Kickow leaps for the ball. Loses it forward. Well, in fairness, it's kind of gone backwards and then bounced forward. Now that's gone backwards. It then bounces forward to give the illusion that it was knocked on. And it's called a knock on. Oh, well. I mean, it's largely irrelevant anyways, isn't it? So I'll tell you what, it's pretty crazy. Out of these 4 legs that I had today, that I got the Bunnies right. Not a single Bulldog. And this is what I was talking about, isn't it? It's exactly what I said at the top of the game. The Bulldogs, very unpredictable in attack. They can score left. They can score right. They can score up the middle. The Bunnies are a little bit more left edge focused. As this kick over the top for Munro, they're going to get a try here, the Rabbitohs. From the scrum. No. Back underway. Munro, the try scorer, takes it, gives it in field. And Moali gets away from one, brings it outside the 10. This is it. 1 minute and a half to go. The Rabbitohs, length of the field. One last set to try and send us into Golden Point. Bulldogs need to just muscle up for one last set of 6. Penalty to the Rabbitohs as the balls are legally stripped out. Rabbitohs penalty. Humphreys kicks it 45 out from their own line. 6 tackles, 50 meters to go. Moali. 40 seconds left. Will they get the full set? Probably not. Arrow to Humphreys. Humphreys is hit hard, loses the ball, and Bronson Cherry has it. That'll be the game. One big tackle is all it took for the Bulldogs, and they've escaped. 19 seconds to go, and they will survive. And I tell you what, if in future games they lead by 8 and have a penalty inside the last 10 minutes or inside the last 5 minutes, I swear to God that they will not take the 2 anymore. As the full-time siren sounds, and the Bulldogs have won 24 points to 18. Lots of heart and lots of fight shown by the South Sydney Rabbitohs. But ultimately, too good in the end. The Bulldogs did just enough. And really, I mean, the Rabbitohs should never have been in the game. Let's be honest. Credit to them for the fight and the heart that they showed in the end. But let's be honest, they should never have been in the contest. If there was not the game suspension for the Lightning, I don't think they would have even been close. The Bulldogs were on such a roll. And as we've seen all season long, when a team's got the momentum, it's very hard to take it away from them. I think the Bulldogs would have scored probably 2 more tries before the break. I mean, at most, maybe. They would have got another try, I reckon. At least one before the break. And carried all the momentum into halftime. But you can, as I always say, you can only play what's in front of you. You can only play to the situation that you're in. That was the situation that the teams were in. And they did well to hold on there at the end, the Bulldogs. Wowee, wasted a lot of sports. It's been a big weekend. Somebody did ask me earlier in the stream if I've been getting enough sleep. Yes and no. But anyway, we've got plenty more to come here on the Wasted Water Sports. If I'm up at 6 a.m. in the morning, I'll do the Formula One, Canadian Grand Prix. George Russell is on pole. Max Verstappen is in second. And our boy, Oscar Piastri, is in third. Lando Norris all the way down at 7th. So Oscar Piastri, the World Championship leader at the moment. Should be an interesting race. So I do hope that I am up for it. Outside of that, tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m., Not Another Bloody Wrestling Show, our fortnightly podcast, all about the world of pro wrestling. And I've got a very special guest lined up as well. You don't want to miss that one. So that's tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Jace and I will be doing that live, our fortnightly wrestling podcast. And, of course, we'll be back Wednesday night, State of Origin number 2. Looking forward to that one. Can the Blues keep their Perth record alive and wrap up the series? Will it be the end of Billy Slater? So many questions to be answered for State of Origin number 2. I've got the Blues winning that quite comfortably, 13+. But we'll see. Thank you very much, Waste of Water Sports, for joining us wherever you've joined us from. And it was a little bit of a dire old game, this one, but exciting enough. I'll catch you guys next time, huh? Until, Wednesday night for Rugby League fans. Hope to catch you tomorrow night, though, for the wrestling podcast. Even if you're not into wrestling, just come and hang out and have a chat. Why not? Catch you later, everyone. Cheers.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Whoa, 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 whoa. here for the jokes and 10 pants less from the kickoff to the final whistles blow. We'll take the 2 and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With the laugh and the cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques. Just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise the road from sideline jokes to post-match tales. All big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our skies. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join our sporty crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer.